We are live now. Just a small update, guys. Due to unavoidable circumstances, Anupriya can't join us now. But as you say, the show must go on. So we have someone whom many of us might already know. And why shouldn't we? Because if you look from my perspective, you can call him a messiah for the student community. Let me introduce to the next speaker of the evening, Mr. Parth Vijayavargiya. He has completed his bachelor's in civil and infrastructure engineering from Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand, and has pursued master's in construction management from Purdue University and is currently working in Willman Construction. Apart from working as a project engineer, Parth has been actively contributing to the field of education for quite some time by enlightening the students about the various aspects of pursuing education in a foreign land on his YouTube channel, which has over 100,000 subscribers. And let me remind you, this thing he has been doing it all while working at Willman Construction. So if you are looking for someone who pursues his passion along with a 9 to 5 job, then he's your go-to man. I take
Mhm.
immense pleasure in inviting Mr. Parth Vijayavargiya and would request him to grace the evening with his words of wisdom. Over to you, sir.
Hey Vishesh, that was a fantastic introduction. Thank you so much. I wrote something down. I was like, how am I going to introduce me? But that was fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Hey everyone, I really can't see you right now, but I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad to be speaking to all of you today. I have tonight, actually, it's morning here, but tonight I have three stories for you. Three stories which has built me as a person, three stories which has built my character, three stories which has gotten me where I am today. So let's start with the first one. Let's start with you know 2010 part. I was in 10th grade. I'm a little older than you, don't judge me on that, but 2010, I was sitting in my home. I was in 10th class, just getting into my 11th grade. And just like every engineering student, just like all of you guys, my hopes and dreams were also to get into IIT, NIT, or a bits, all sort of ITs. And just as all of you guys, I got into the rat race of, coaching classes, Bansal, Fitji, and other coaching classes. As you guys know, I'm from Jaipur, and Jaipur and Kota and all of that region is just always full of these people who wants to get into the best colleges in India, and just that area is just full of these people and these people pressures from the relatives and everyone. So looking back at 2010, when I was fat, when I was shabby and very immature, and I was like, hey, why don't try? And my dad was also like, hey, why don't you try getting into an IIT or taking that exam? So I was like, all right, I'll join the class. I joined the class just like everyone else, attended it every third day, and every second day, every alternative day. And I was like, I pretty much knew that I'm not going to make it initially, because you just get that gut feeling that, hey, as a person, I'm not smart enough to crack this difficult of an exam. Fast forward 2 years, I take all these test prep exams and try my best to maintain my 12th grade and my IIT, my preparation for IIT as well. And at the end of the day, I don't get in. I don't get into IIT, I don't get into BITS, I don't get into any of the IITs as well. I'm so glad that all of you did. Congratulations for being here. That's an awesome achievement. I couldn't make it, but that did not stop me. Luckily, one of my dad's professor, my dad did a master's in transportation engineering as well, and my dad's professor told us about this university in Thailand. Like, if you hear about Thailand, it's just a very odd sounding country to be studying in, because people go to party there. But luckily, I just consider myself lucky because that was an international university and it's close to home. So I was like, all right, I'll go there. The options which I'm getting in India might as not be as good as what I'm getting here. And I realized pretty quickly that the decision I made was really good, because all of my professors were either PhDs from US universities or PhDs from Europe or Japan, all of these big, big, best university across the world. I ended up at AIT, Asian Institute of Technology, and in Thailand, of course. If you're in Thailand, you're gonna have some fun. You're getting your freedom. You're getting your own laptop. You're getting small budget to spend a month, and you have your dormitories. We had co-ed dormitories, and it was just so much freedom that a freshman or a first year student wouldn't be able to handle. And that's what happened. First semester goes by, and I'm sitting there with my test scores, and I get a GPA of 2.93 out of 4. So all of that fun and movies and TV shows and fast speed internet kind of was reflecting in my grades. And all of my friends were able to get over 3, so it was a little disheartening for me. I was like, all right, first semesters are always tough, let me try to make it in the second semester. I get into second semester, and there's even harder courses this time. So there was even harder courses this time. So I was like, all right, let me try to do my best. I did even worse. I scored a 2.47 out of 4, and I got even a F on my transcript. Summers come in, that's when the results came, and I got that F, and I had to tell my father, like, hey, this is how much I scored for the first year. My cumulative GPA was 3.52 or something like that. My dad only told me one line, and I think it just hit home for me so hard that, hey, you have all the facilities, all the options in your hand. You have everything, and you still are not able to perform and do better. And I think that really hit home, because he didn't really scold me. He didn't say anything except for that single line. I was like, I gotta do something. I gotta change my life, because all of this phone and laptop and movies, it's not going to take me anywhere. Third semester comes in, and I become like the most studious part you'll ever see. I don't think I can ever do what I did during that second year. I had a Android Samsung J7 at that time, and I was like, maybe I should stop using a phone. So I stopped using my Android phone, switched to a very blue looking Nokia phone, which you could throw at that wall and it will break. And I was like, hey, if I had to do it, I have to like stop all the distractions. So I started using that phone and just message like Nokia dummy phone and going around with my stuff. Every day I ended up at the library. Every day I was first at the class, last to leave the class, ask a lot of doubts to the professor, and just kept pushing and pushing and pushing throughout that whole four months of period. End of third semester comes in, and I take my final exams, and I was like, hey, let's see how much. I did my best I could do, with the efforts I put in, with all the distractions and everything. I end up getting a GPA of 3.47 out of 4. Funny enough thing was, that semester my academic advisor told me to take less credits, because if I would have gotten lesser GPA than 2.5, I would have been probation, and that puts me in risk of getting out of the university. So I was really proud of telling my parents that hey, I worked hard, and I was really proud to tell my academic professors, and they were really proud of me as well. So that brings me that sort of brings me to lesson one. Sometimes you have to cut through the distractions, and cut through the people to get through things. If you're not able to get out of that distractions and FOMO mode, FOMO is fear of missing out mode, then you'll not be able to do anything. I outperformed myself. I couldn't ever believe that, hey, I could do this. I could score a GPA of 3.47. I could get a lot of A's, a lot of B's. But I did that. I removed the distractions. I just focused on my studies. And I realized that I'm a different person than what I thought to be. And that 1 year, that second year of mine, third semester and fourth semester, taught me so many things, which I am today. That brings to our second story. Now, second story goes back a little bit. In 2015, I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you're a YouTube fanatic, you might know Casey Neistat. Casey Neistat is an American vlogger, American YouTuber. he used to make a lot of videos of his daily lifestyle in New York City. So I'm sitting in my dorm room in 2015 on my laptop scrolling, and it's been like, I think, day 15 since he has started vlogging. He was planning to film his daily life, so one vlog a day. I was like, this is pretty cool. I got hooked. I watched one video, second video, third video, fourth video, kept watching another video. And in your, if you have ever, one of you 291 people have ever visited New York City, or if you ever get a chance of visiting New York City, one thing remember, that New York City breathes energy, breathes motivation. That city is just something else. I don't think I can compare it to any place in this whole world. And to see that guy pushing content every day, to see that guy doing so much out of those same 24 hours which you have, which I have, that was really motivating for me. And he made that process look so easy, of filming himself or filming New York City or filming his friends, that I was like, hey, it doesn't seem too hard, like engineering, I get it, you have to get a degree, but this doesn't seem too hard. All I have to do is pick up my cell phone and start filming. And it seemed like a very cliche story, but what I did was, I used to film my friends a lot. Like, I would just go into their rooms, I would be like, hey, what are you doing? And then I would start putting the camera in their faces while we are having lunch, while we are going out, taking time lapses while I'm sitting in a bus, in a cab, or anything. And I just kept on doing that. And at that time, I had a Samsung J7, so the camera is not really good on that. And of course, when you're trying something out, you hope that it looks similar to what you saw in Casey Neistat's video. And I realized pretty quick that my $200-300 or 15,000 rupees phone is not going to match the quality of his thousands of dollars worth of camera. But I was like, hey, I like this, I like the process of editing, of putting together one video after one video and one video after one video. So I was like, I'll try. So I started filming my grandparents' first trip to abroad. I filmed that, made a movie out of it, posted on Facebook, nothing biggie, okay? Did that again while we were graduating, posted that movie on Facebook as well. And people liked it. I was like, man, this is something interesting. This is great way to restore memories, great way to rewatch them. And my mom really liked it. My mom always is a very nostalgic person. She keeps looking at old pictures and old videos. So she really liked it. So 2016 come, I graduate from AIT, and it was all fun and games. But now either I have to go for a job or I have to do a master's. And I decide I want to go for a master's, but I would like to take a gap year. A gap year is in 2016 to 2017. There's just all that year was I did preparation for my master's exam, that is GRE, TOEFL, and application, and I started a YouTube channel. My cousin, who is a photographer, who everybody thought he's doing photography as a fluke. He's just a college student right now. Everybody gets into cameras and get a camera and pick up, and that will go away and he'll get a job. But he never got a job. He's still a photographer and he's a very successful photographer. And at that time, I was like, hey, let's start a YouTube channel. Let's start, you and me, you all the gears. I'll talk and we can really make something out of it. We started that channel and we started doing all random stuff. We filmed tech reviews, we filmed Pokemon Go videos. We were filming like restaurants, going eating, and just the place was everywhere. The channel was everywhere. And it was like, if your channel is everywhere and if you don't know how to really put together stuff, it's not looking good for the audience as well. But I was able to get like 1,000 subscribers in a year. In 1 year, I was able to get 1,000 subscribers. That's a long time. And I think at that time, what kept me going was one of the tech YouTubers, Marques Brownlee, MKBHD, famously known as. He started his YouTube channel back in 2009 when YouTube was very new. And he made a video as a kid, opening his laptop camera, saying like, hey, this is my 100th video and I have 70 subscribers right now. And every time I reminded myself like, hey, MKBHD kept going when he only had 70 subscribers. Why can't I go when I have 1,000 people? Think about 1,000 people in a room, and your perspective will really change. So I was like, I gotta keep going, I gotta just push through it. And that brings me to lesson two here. If you are really passionate about something, keep going. Keep going and keep finding yourself, because it's so much easy to give up. It would have been so much easy for me to say, like, hey, I don't want to do this, I'm planning for my masters anyway, I'll just do that. I'll go the regular route. But I did not. Still kept filming, random videos. I'll try my best to give it another shot, because MKBHD also switched on his camera, filmed himself 100 times before getting 70 subscribers. And now that guy's sitting over 10 million or 12 million subscribers. And he's one of the best reviewers. I think he's one of my inspiration, Nightstart being my inspiration. And that is my lesson too, that, hey, keep persistent, just keep going if you really believe in something. Now comes the third story. A third story becomes of Gradical. Gradical is a website which I co-founded. It's a platform it's a company which I co-founded last year, and that company is entailing helping out students as much as we can with study abroad aspirants. If you go to gradical.com, yes, we had some security issues and we are trying to tackle that, but it's a culmination of whatever I did back in 2016 to up till now. I started making videos about my first video after those 1,000 subscribers was like, hey, why you shouldn't go for a consultant. I don't really believe that you should be paying 40,000, 50,000 rupees to a consultant who's going to write your application when you're very smart people. You have made it to engineering school, you're going to survive the engineering school, so why can't you just do your master's application? And that was the point of Gradical wants to enable you rather than taking money from you and then providing you a service. We want to enable you with information, we want to enable you with platform, we want to enable with live sessions. So I started making GRE videos in 2017. I started with why you shouldn't go for a consultant, how to prepare for GRE. I took a SBI loan, so I was like, all right, I'll make a video of that. During this time, I got an admit from Purdue University, one of the best universities for construction management in the whole US. I was like, this is pretty cool. And after that, following to that, I started getting all these admits from different universities in the US. In Netherlands, I got from TU Delft. In Sweden, I got it from 3 universities. So I was like, all right, this is pretty solid. The things which I worked upon, or the application, how I made through, really worked out. So why I don't write blogs. I don't really like writing blogs. So I was like, hey, I have this. I think I should merge this, making videos and application process, and boom, creation of the YouTube channel. And I started filming myself while I was going to the library at the university, while I was working part time at a sandwich shop, while I was doing everything at cooking, meeting my friends, biking around, going to Chicago to meet my sister. Every time I would go, I would film a little bit. It was really a lot of efforts, editing and stuff, but I kept on going. I was like, it'll add up. I kept seeing not exponential growth, but a sustainable growth where it's like, all right, we have 100,000 subscribers, 2,000, 10,000 now, 40,000, 50,000. And that brings me to lesson three. My lesson three is that all you ever do, every step you take towards your future, every course you learn, everything you do is going to add up to something really big. And that is such a prime, like this YouTube channel is such a prime example. All I did was wake up, filmed, and put it on a website, and it has garnered over 10 million views now, over 100,000 subscribers. I've done events. I don't really see myself doing events. Like even this event, I could never imagine myself as that intelligent or smart guy. Like, oh, I would be speaking to 300 people right now. But that small video, small effort which I put in, get me to this point where I am today. That is that lesson three. But that first year I got F, and I put in so much effort, taught me confidence, taught me persistence. that I can do something if I really put my mind to it. That every video which I made gave me gave me this platform to speak on, gave me an opportunity to talk to 400, 500 people in a single auditorium in person. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, that all of these things will add up to something really big. And I'll tell you a very emotional story. At least it's really emotional for me. In 2019, when my parents were visiting me for graduation, while I was graduating from Purdue, I went to New York City and we were going to New Jersey. New Jersey is a 30-minute subway ride from New York City. A lot of Indian food. So we were like, let's go there. We were sitting in the subway. I was with my parents, with my sister, and two guys came up to us, and like Indian guys came up to us and was like, hey, we have watched your videos, thank you so much for that. And I think all of this efforts was so much worth it for those two guys to come up to me and say that in front of my parents, and my parents being so proud at that moment that, hey, I'm able to create such a big impact in somebody's life, because these guys now will go into a great university or will work there and just just have a successful life. And I am so grateful to be a part of it. That was my three lessons, guys. I hope you like that, hope you found that useful. I really appreciate you listening to me.
That was really inspiring, sir. I can read a lot of comments. They are, yes, sir. So, shall we begin with the Q&A session, if you don't
Yeah,
mind?
yeah, for sure, why not? Yeah, let's
Okay,
do a
sir.
Q&A.
So, the firt question we have from is Ipshita. She is asking that how did you keep yourself motivated? Was there a point where you faced a burnout? If so, how did you keep yourself going?
I think the easy thing with keeping, well, there's two phases of motivation here. With YouTube, the easy thing was I get a lot of comments and likes and people pushing me to make videos. So that makes it easier for me to push through things. If you hold yourself accountable to someone else and that someone else pushes you, I think that's really nice. When it comes to construction management and my degree and what I'm working as right now as a project engineer building great public projects, I think that pushes me is like, hey, I'm trying to create an impact in somebody else's life. I'm creating fire stations, schools, which will be there for another 40, 50 years. And the community is going to use it. And that kept me pushing. So if you're trying to create something, doesn't matter if it's a job or if it's a business, I think holding yourself accountable that you're responsible for your community and you're responsible for your family, that really keeps you going.
Okay, so the next question we have is like, even if you pursue something you love, you reach a point of saturation and doing your favorite task become arduous. Have you ever faced that? If so, how did you cope up with this?
I definitely I had a very creative block last year. I hardly made any videos. Um, I was just really going through stuff because I was like, hey, I have made these videos. I think I'm just tired and bored of this. But at that time, I think you need to do something. Maybe the best way I feel is like I started watching other people's videos, getting inspired from them, Skillshare courses, Coursera courses. I started reading a few books that really motivated me. Like, hey, I can share this to a student. And then, even if I'm not really interested in making videos, I would still do live sessions where I would interact with other students. So when it comes to your journey, when you're doing like similar tasks, think of a bigger picture. Don't like imagine, guys, we have been in school for 12 years, plus we'll be in the university for 4 years. After 16 years of education, then you are getting into work, so you're already doing a lot of task and preparation for one job. So that 1 year of hard work, 2 year of hard work, 3 year of hard work is not going to matter in the long term picture. Gary Vaynerchuk, entrepreneur, he says that a lot. Hey, look at the bigger picture, and then have that vision in your mind that in these 10 years, let me do this boring work right now, and I'll be able to make through this boring work through consistency.
Okay. So the next question we have is from Saina. He's asking how to improve communication skills.
Sure. I think we all love watching, American TV series, Friends, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones is another one, not American, but still, I think a lot of times you listen to English there, and if you talk to your friends and you just talk to them in English, sometimes it feels odd, but you keep talking to them. I think that is very important. If you talk to more people, that's the best way to improve your communication skill than anything else, I believe, because I was also very hesitant when I came to my first year. I wasn't really good at speaking English. I wasn't really presentable until I started the channel. I think just presenting yourself again and again and taking that opportunity when somebody says like, "Hey, why don't you present?" I'm like, or who wants to present? I'm like, I'll present. I'll present. Just taking that opportunity and getting that fear out is going to help you improve your communication skill and getting that fear out. Now, I was really nervous and sweaty when I was doing my first ever event in 2017 2018. Okay, and now I'm yes, I'm still nervous, but I'm more confident as a person just because I've done this before. What's the worst can happen? So somebody told me one thing, like, when you're communicating with someone, don't think about the result, think about the process. I think you'll be much more uh, eased off and be more responsive to the conversation.
Okay, so we have another question from Divas. How do you manage both being a content creator and having a job?
Oh, hi, Divas. Divas knows a family of mine. So, hi, Divas. Uh, Divas. So, I, really try just hard to catch up. It's more like, hey, should I be watching a TV series which is going to take 8 hours of mine, or should I be putting that into a video, or should I be going out with my friends or twice a week instead of once a week, or I should be putting out a channel. So after my job, after my 9 to 5 or 7 to 4 or whatever I do, I come back home, spend some time just relaxing, and try to find times. Even when I'm watching TV with my roommate, I'll try to write something up, or even if I'm driving, I'll try to do a couple of calls. So that way I'm able to manage my time. I try to do Pomodoro technique, where I'm putting my phone away for 35 minutes and just focusing on a deep thinking session. So that way I'm trying to get more out of my time, because we are living in the world of distractions right now. So every time we are so focused on our phones, like, hey, what's going on in my phone, should I check it again and again and again, and try to eliminate that distractions when you're trying to get to something. So I know in India jobs are really arduous and difficult and long working hours as well. But on the weekends, try to find some time. Maybe even if you'll find 1 hour every week, oh sorry, 1 hour every day, that still adds up to a whole another day of work which you did that month. 28 hours, so extra 4 hours. So think of it that way, that if I'll do something every single day for just 1 hour, that will really add up to a bigger picture.
Okay, so we have another question from Ambika. She's asking, how was your GRE preparation journey? Like, you can
So
explain.
my GRE, I did not really score well in GRE. I scored a 313, which is a decent score. I wouldn't say really good score, but I focused more upon my connecting with my professor, letter of recommendation, statement of purpose. Um, there's a great. I did not use him, but well, I used Magoosh that time. Jambori. I was going to Jambori as well, but there's a guy named Greg Matt, GREG Matt. You can check out his website. It's only $5, so 350 rupees a month. So that's really cheap, and he makes videos and gives exercises to students. By the way, his all videos are free as well. But if you still want to get the premium structure, you can go to Greg's Matt's website, and it's only $5 a month.
Okay, so we have a question from Rudra Aditya. He's asking, how do you keep going even after the ups and downs in your life?
Um, oh yeah, that's a great question. Uh,
Like, what is your mindset? That
Yeah, yeah. I think it's always like, hey, what's the worst which could happen? Like, is this the worst which could happen to me? Like, let's say when I got that F, I'm like, all right, I could have gotten into depression, or I could have just like being the same student, or I could make a change in my life. I was like, try to evaluate the situation on how bad of a situation it is or how worst it could be. I think that really miles down the situation. If you're going through a down period, try, I know it's easy, it's easy to say and harder to do, but do a different thing. Stop doing what you're trying to do. Stop doing what you're trying to pursue, but try to pursue something else. Maybe find a hobby, maybe find a sport. For me personally, working out has really helped. I'm not, like a very big bodybuilder. I just go to the gym to make myself feel like I've done something, get that dopamine, get that adrenaline going, and then come back to work, and from a refreshed mind. And social media detox really helps during that time. I'm honestly telling you, seeing negative comments around doesn't help you in any way. So getting out of social media helps in your down periods.
Okay, so we have one question from Subrata Maji. He's asking if someone fails at a thing like constantly, what should that person do? Should that
Can you
person
sorry,
give
can
up?
you
Or,
repeat the question?
he's asking if someone fails at
Mhm.
a thing constantly, then what should that person do? Should that person give up or like still continue that, like doing
he,
that
he
thing?
he bails on the things continuously.
Like for example, like suppose if you are pursuing what should I say, a career in YouTube, and you
Mhm.
are failing constantly, like gaining views and stuffs like that, should that person give up on his dreams? Like, should he pursue something else? I guess that's what he's asking.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see because YouTube is a difficult thing, right? Like some people just make it, some people don't make it. I think there's a time period. Let's say you ask yourself, did you put in 100% of your efforts that you could do, like in terms of content? Or if you're thinking like, I want to be an entertaining channel, okay, you're making your videos. If you're giving up at 50 videos, I'm not gonna promote you or I'm not gonna support you. But if you're giving up at 200, I get it. Maybe you want to change your genre, see what is working, see what is not working. It is always difficult with these kind of things because sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, and again, it's a combination of a bunch of things kind of working out. So just, yeah, sometimes it's a difficult question for me as well because I'm like, maybe it'll work, maybe it'll not. But if you really believe in it, go for it. If you really believe in it, talk to somebody else who's been in this space, get some idea from them. There's a channel called Chai and Coaching. Rob for Chai. He's an American guy trying to help Indian students. He only has 1,000 subscribers right now, or he only has 10,000 subscribers, something like that. Very low subscriber count, but he still makes videos, and he's still making videos since almost 2.5 years now. So that consistency is the key. But
Yes.
always have a backup option. Honestly, I'll tell you.
Okay, so we have another question from Robin. He's asking that, sir, as you said, to follow your passion with deadly effort, but the problem with him is that he does not have a particular passion. His desire to do something is frequently changeable. He wants to know how can he get a particular passion, and also
That,
how can he find with what is his actual purpose between so many fluctuations.
yeah, that's completely fine. Hey, you don't have to find your passion tonight. You don't. Hey, give me one second, guys. I'll have to put my laptop
Yes. One.
charge. Um, I completely get what he's trying to say. I completely get what he's trying to say, that, hey, how do I find my passion? So what had happened was like when I got into construction management, I was like, hey, am I more passionate about YouTube than civil engineering degree? But then when I started working, I realized that I have this nick or I have this passion for construction as well along with YouTube, and I'm so much more interested while I'm working at it. So it's not necessary. You don't really have to have a passion right away. You might find a passion within 10 years. You might find your passion 15 years down the line. Sometimes you might not even find it. Sometimes that passion might not make you any money, but just keep you going in your regular day-to-day job. So having that two things, or even having one thing, for example, my colleague, he just got promoted to a position above me. He is so passionate about construction that he thinks of construction every day. That's his passion. He found his passion in the degree he was doing. The way to try and find your passion is to keep doing things which are different, to keep doing things again and again, keep trying on things. Don't focus on your career. Try and try and try new things, try learning new things, try watching other YouTube videos, try reading some books, and you might see something which you are really passionate about. A guy started a YouTube channel smashing things, that was his passion, smashing things. He posted a video, got really famous. I'm talking in YouTube terms a lot just because I'm in this space, but it could be anything. Some people find it really motivating to go to an NGO and help out animals. That is their passion. Your passion doesn't have to really make you money. Your passion needs to give fulfillment in your life.
Hello, sir. Since we are on a very tight schedule, I guess we need to end the Q&A session
Yeah,
here.
yeah, of course. We are already 6 minutes over, so not a
Yes.
problem.
So thank you so much for that amazing session. Your valuable words has definitely ignited a fire in all of us. Thank you
Yeah,
for being a part of Ignitia 21. We all
thank
know
you.
that there is a huge time difference between the time zones of the states and India, yet you were able to take some time out for us from your busy schedule. So big thanks for that. We look forward to hosting you sometime soon. Maybe when you come to India, you can visit our campus and address the students
Definitely,
there. Thank you so
definitely,
much, sir.
definitely, guys. All right, thank you so much, everyone. It was great chatting with you all. Thank you.
We'll just end the session and go backstage, okay?
Yes.
All right.